Well, hello. Let's try for another Tiara. This is what I got so far. Looking pretty cool, but I'm thinking it's going to be up that way. And let's give it a try. Get some music playing. Oops. Don't forget that there is all those links in the description to channels that you may very well like, especially if you're interested in getting into art and things like that. There's people like B. Collins, who does glass blowing, all the way over to Brian King has a channel. Oh man, I shouldn't have mentioned it. Now I can't remember the name of the channel. I should remember. Jeez. Audio test, 1, 2. Audio test, 1, 2. Audio test one more time. Hang on, I'm getting some feedback here. Live stream, or excuse me, Nachos, Brian King, hey. Electric Vision, oh gosh. I keep thinking the voice of, but that's the voice of Thunder. Anyway, my camera's giving me a lot of trouble, so I'm going to real quick. Audio test 1, 2. Much better, much better. Ugh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a little crackling in the audio. It's good now, good. Yeah. You know, they gotta go after somebody, right? And, Brian King, I was sending you messages back, but I got messages immediately saying that, This says unable to send message. Blocking is active. I guess that either means that I'm run out of free messages to send, or you blocked the messages. Either way is fine. I just thought I'd let you know since I couldn't respond. Yeah, for real. It's so silly. You know, it's like, they don't know a damn thing. Yeah, I do need to pay my bill. Hopefully here pretty soon. Alright. Alright, let's see what we can do with this thing here. Yeah, that means pay your bill. Yeah, for real. Oh, jeez. Alright, let's continue. Now, let's see here. I don't want it to be so tall, so eventually I'm going to have to do something about this this triangle here. I'm going to have to bend it or figure some way to integrate that. Maybe even make that a spike. That'd be interesting. Just bend it here. Kind of come down. Come back up this way. Yeah. First thing though, let's grab this. Yeah, stupid butter thing. Exactly. I can't think of anything to say. Yeah. I dropped it not too long ago on my anvil, and I think I cracked it. I hope that's just part of the fault in the crystal. Very frustrating. I hope it stays together. But we're going to try and put a nice little crystal right there in the middle. Let's grab some wire. Let's say here... Let's see if I can use these. Yeah, it's not stealing if they're giving it freely, my goodness. And I've been there. Let's see if I can get this without popping the damn thing out of my hands. Woo! Just about got me in the face. Ooh, it's warm. I'm gonna have to turn something on here. Yeah, I used to watch Merb's live stream, or excuse me, I forget what they call it. Ramblin' while amblin' or something like that. I used to watch that to keep up with audit news. Alright, so let's just a little bit wider. Just a little bit wider. Uh-oh, what's going on? Huh. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Audio test, 1, 2. Audio test, 1, 2. Alright, so the audio is working. It's good on your end. Oh, even on my YouTube it's not doing good. It's still paused. I guess let me just unplug it real quick and plug it back in. Ah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird. Certainly the anti-auditing community was no better to join than the audit community, that's for sure. Alright, let's see if I can... Here we go. Excuse me. Yeah, that's fine, he understands. Ah, here it is. I was like, where is it? That was entirely too long. That's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Yeah, that's entirely too long. Let's see if I can cut that in half. Sorry, I'll look at the comments in just a second. It's loose. I'm just kind of winging it, guys. Oh my. Hang on. Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. Exploit it to the lurkers. Love my lurkers, by the way. Always do. Yeah, I think people throw around the word lying a lot more often than they should. It's actually not all that common. There's still some wiggling going on. Now it's turning into a damn mess. Ugh. I think next time, I'll try just a little bit harder to make it look nice. This side looks alright. I guess they both look alright. Oh! Sorry, I just kept catching up to the... Yeah, for real, that's messed up. I mean, what happened to your mom's leg is absolutely tragic, man. I just... You know, people are so awful. Or can be, at least. Alright, so this one is going to go around this one, and this one is going to go around this one. So let's make sure that this is center. Let's fold around this way. And around this way. Alright. Alright, so that is secure on there. It's not center, unfortunately. This, yeah, this way. No, it is center this way, not center this way. But I think we'll be fine as long as it's centered there. Let's go around the back. Oh man, you guys weren't really able to see what I was doing, were you? Shit. I did this wrong. God damn it. Should have gone the other way first. Alright. Good freaking damn it. Man. Okay. So we got these two so far, or four, I should say. Four so far. Alright. Man, oh man. Man, I did this so wrong, guys. I did this so wrong. Should have jumped from this to there. Oh man, let's see here. Not generated in what I thought it would? Oh man, that's no good. Oh yeah? Yeah, all you'll ever see is just a bunch of free energy stuff, I'm sure. Should make the weapon from Krull. Oh man, I don't get any extra points then, because I'm not sure where that comes from. There we go. Okay. Alright, yeah. Alright, so we found a way to anchor this. Ah, shit. Before I go further with that, I need to... hammer out those points. So let's get the hammer and twice out. Straight pride? I totally support straight pride. I am so sick of gay people going, oh, it's so special to be gay. Oh, it's so special to be gay. It's like, no, it is not special to be gay. Good lord, you're so much more than just gay. It's like, what? Like, that's all you are. You're not a Republican. You're not an artist. You're not a... whatever. You're just gay. It just makes no sense to me. I am totally for straight pride, and the way the gay community, let's say the LGBT QIA, whatever the fuck that means, the way they're handling this straight pride issue is an absolute joke. You know, how in the hell are we ever supposed to take gay people seriously if all they ever fucking do is run around in their goddamn underpants? You know, it's like, come on now. Come on now. Like, we won our rights. We got them. It's illegal to discriminate based on sexuality. In at least a few states, I'm sure. Sorry, I was just checking messages there. So yeah, I am all for straight pride. You know, if gay people are going to be really fucking annoying and want their stupid little gay pride bullshit, then fine. I don't mind giving straight people, gay pride. I don't mind giving straight people the same opportunity to feel pride in their sexuality, like it means something. Let me tell you something, sister. Being gay doesn't mean anything. Alright, I'm gonna go. It's about acceptance. Well, then they're going about it the wrong way. Openly without persecution? Yeah, I mean, fine. That's fine. You know, there's a difference between being jumped in the middle of the night by a Muslim crowd and being discriminated against because of your, you know, not getting a job because of your sexuality. You know, like not being able to get a job because of your sexuality is definitely something that can change. But the fact that gay people are still targeted by religious groups for whatever reason, That's not going to change, because you can't force a religion to you can't force a religious bakery to bake a gay cake. You know, it just makes no sense. But you can have laws, just, you know, that make it where you can't discriminate based on hiring. They go naked in front of kids? Yeah, I mean, they certainly go way the fuck overboard. And that's not even just at gay pride, just so you know. That's everywhere. They're that gay everywhere. You know, to the club, they're that gay. At the drive-thru, they're that gay. So, I mean, it's not just an explosion during the, you know, apparently now the month of June. Jeez Louise. I mean, it's my birthday tomorrow, right? And it's in June, and I'm gonna have to deal with fucking Gay Pride Month for the rest of my life because gay people are freaking annoying that way. Hang on, let me go mute while I'm hammering real quick. And that isn't even mentioning the T. The T and the LGBT are killing and castrating our young gay boys. You know, they're telling them gay boys that they have to be girls in order to fulfill their destiny as a gay person when they're just gay. You know, it's like, come on now. Let's leave that shit out of school. We don't need confused men around our children. Confused gay men. Goodness gracious. There's nothing more there's nothing more scary than letting a confused gay man into the girls' restroom. Yeah, for sure, and it's certainly got way out of control since then. You know, it's like, alright, we get it, you're gay. It's like, alright, fine. Jeez Louise. Can we get a break? Can we get a break from your gayness? I know I need a break. Ruler. I know it's around here somewhere. Where is my ruler? Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the kind of thing like, I don't agree with religion. I don't agree with Christianity, Muslims, Jews, spiritual people. I don't agree with any of that, you know. And I can't make laws that discriminate against them any more than they can make laws that discriminate against blacks or gays or whatever. I wish I could, but that would be anti-freedom. People should have the freedom to be as dumb as they wish, I truly believe that. Adults, I mean. I think adults are more than free to be as stupid as they choose to be. And we see that a lot in the LGBT community. I see it a lot. BBS? You mean PBS, or? The owner of the first BBS I got on, which was the Internet of the... Oh, I see. Internet of the Day. Transgender and open about? For sure, I hope everybody in here is more than comfortable with disagreeing with me. I don't want people to feel discouraged about saying something, though I don't advise it. You know, if you're just a watcher, that's fine. You know, I've actually been really thinking about that, in the sense that maybe I need to get away from the whole discussion thing. Maybe that's hurting my channel, I don't know. I think I'm going to put another... Crap. Well, I might be able to get away with it. Yeah, let me get a bulletin board system. Okay. I see. Alright, I'm just gonna grab a... Whew! That's getting elaborate. Let's try it this way. No. Oh. Yeah, that's quite elaborate. Let me get some straight aluminum wire. Sorry, I'm in the garage, so I got all these bugs coming in. For sure, I love coming onto your channel, Nacho. I love coming onto your channel because you ask some very interesting questions, you know, and we talk about some very interesting topics. I want to go all ham on the transgender topic. Because I don't agree. Especially when it comes to our children. It's all fine and dandy if you want to chop your dick off as an adult, right? I mean, you know, if you can find the doctor, if you can find the person that'll do it for you, you know, and if you can have the money and go through what it takes, right? Because you can't just go to a doctor and say, hey, I want to chop off my dick. You know, you have to go through, I think it was like, certainly several years of counseling, several years of wearing women's clothing, things of that nature. They want to make sure that you are absolutely certain that you want to do this completely permanent procedure, right? That alone should tell you why we shouldn't be exposing this to children. No way. No way. I'm so glad I don't have kids. So glad I don't have kids. One second. And I agree with that in the same way of gayness, right? I agree that we should not expose children to any kind of form of sexuality, right? Until they're old enough to be curious about it. Like, well, I mean, what age do kids usually get their, what is that, 5th grade? Holy shit, that's a little young. Oh no, that's for hygiene. What, like 9th grade? 8th grade? like 11, 12, 13. I think that's when they do the talk, right? The in-school sex education. That's what it's called. Sex ed should not be taught in elementary schools. I'm telling you. And that's what transgender people want. Transgender, the LGBT community, they want to get those kids young. They want kids to be normalized they want transgenderism to be normalized at a young age. And there's nothing normal about wanting to chop off your body parts and stick fake ones on. That should not be encouraged. Certainly not towards children. My goodness. If children can believe in Santa Claus, what kind of nonsense are they going to believe? Right? Well, that you can choose your gender based on how you feel. Yeah, kids are going to believe that. They're going to believe anything. Oh, wow, that was a real nasty prick on the finger. Children are going to believe whatever nonsense you teach them, right? I used to clean churches for a living. I've seen what nonsense is taught to children on a first-hand basis, right? I have a few curriculum books that they give to children in Bible school, and it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting what they teach these children. You know, the Bible, which is a pretty nasty book. I care about the kids. More importantly, I care about kids who are too young to make real decisions on their life. Well, kids, I guess. An 11-year-old can't know that they're gay. An 11-year-old can't know what it means to be transgender. At all ages, no way. No way. No way! Feels over reals never work out properly, right? And that's what transgender is. Transgenderism is an entire practice revolving around this idea that you can just be whatever gender you want based on how you feel. No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. It's, you're a man if you're born with a pair of genitals or a pair of balls, right? And you'll never be a woman no matter how hard you try, because you get your gender is determined almost immediately after the egg is attached to the the sperm is attached to the egg, right? Like, it just comes down to science, guys. Science and kids, right? Is that playing dress up? That's fine. If guys want to wear girl clothes, right? If little boys want to wear girl clothes, there's no permanent consequences to that, right? There's no leap from I like wearing girl clothes to suddenly I want to be a girl. That makes no sense. I wore girl clothes from 9th grade to 22. Something like that. I never once thought of chopping my dick off to have my body match my my gender, you know. And that's what I mean. 99.9 whatever people grow out of it. Right. That means that people who make transitions... Okay, I'll just make this point and then I'll get back to my art, right? It's very important to listen to the people who have done it and regretted, right? Just like when you join a group, you always want to hear from the people who've left the group, right? To see whether you agree with it or not, right? Sorry. Not allowed before 18. I agree with that. I don't agree with the acceptance part. I think it requires a certain kind of adult in their life that they trust to tell them, look, I'm sorry you feel this way, but there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about your gender. You're going to have to just be okay with being a male, despite how you feel. That's reality. That's someone being real with somebody, like their kids and stuff. Not all, but a lot. Not all, but a lot. I would say most, because this transgender thing has become a fashion statement, right? That I remember in high school, all these guys were saying, "Oh, I'm gay," at the hopes of somehow getting a girl, you know. And I wound up being one of the very few people who stayed gay through high school, right? Compared to the amount of straight guys or guys who were saying that they were gay, you know. You feel like a million? Yeah, I identify as a 65-year-old, so I can get not disability, Social Security, right? Yeah, and I'm glad that we agree on that, Brian King, in the fact that these children are being exposed so early to this. I want to be nice, right? I want to be nice. I think the nicest way to describe it is delusion, right? Because facts don't care about your feelings, right? If you're upset about being the gender you're not, right? Or the gender you don't identify with, tough cookies. That's just tough shit, you know? You're gonna have to live with that, you know, and everybody has to live with something in their life, right? Some people are born without an arm. They gotta live with that. Well, I guess it's not really a good analogy, considering you can at least get a decent prosthetic, but you still won't have an arm. Anyway, let's get back to art. Well, nature isn't a cognitive thing, right? It doesn't make decisions. You weren't decidedly a boy. You happen to be one, right? Like, it could have gone either way, but you happen to be a boy, you know? And nothing, no amount of surgery, no amount of hormones, no amount of anything, no amount of belief is going to change that. Furry potato will always be a biological boy. There's nothing can change that. And no matter how much he decides to mutilate himself, right, it's not going to change. I don't mind calling Furry Potato a female when she's next to me, right? For polite conversation, if I know the person wants to be called a female or whatever, and we're not having a big debate about it, fine. For polite's sake, I don't think people are going to be unreasonable with that. But you can't just sit there and say, I want to make a law that makes it illegal to say to misgender someone. And they are making those laws, and transgender people are pushing for those laws, right? Just like with the gay thing. I'm gay, right? I'm sure we all know this by now. I don't really have a choice but to be involved or a part of this group that call themselves the LGBT, right? I can't just say I'm gay and I don't affiliate with that group, right? I guess I could say that, but people on the outside are going to just think whatever they want, right? So I'm going to have to deal with that. Beliefs don't... Hang on, let me read the whole thing. That's fine. I mean, my accepting it doesn't make a difference, right? Like, if she believes she's a girl or he or whatever, I mean, if she wants to live in that little fantasy with other people who believe in that fantasy, she can, right? Just like any Christian. If Christians want to believe in that fantasy, they're welcome to it. They are welcome to it. But you cannot make laws that dictate that I have to accept that, right? Then I have to accept Christianity or trans people or gay people, right? Because science, it is a fantasy. It is a fantasy. And we have to distinguish between biology and belief, right? You can't just simply believe that you're a female, right? You have to have the organs, the hormones, the female biological cells, right? No amount of changing the hormones is going to change the Y, that Y into an X. That's DNA, and DNA does matter, right? And then we get into the, I'm sure everyone has heard about the, males becoming females into sports and things like that, and arguably we could say that they're in it for the sports, right, and not for the actual trans part. But I do not accept Jenner, Kylie, Bruce. I don't accept that Bruce is somehow a hero for chopping off his body parts and then normalizing it to these young, impressionable children. If anything, he's made it worse. I mean, not everyone can afford those operations. Cleft lip is an entirely different thing from transgenders. A cleft lip can be fixed via surgery, right? They can be without a cleft lip after surgery. But post-surgery, for trans, they're still a boy. They're just a boy without a penis and fake boobs. If you know what I'm saying. And for a long time, religion opposed the cleft lip surgery, right? Because it was somehow tied into some demon stuff or whatever, I'm sure. Some kind of blemish, or whatever you want to call it. Or mark. I grabbed my ruler. There it is. I think it's more important... Yeah, let me make sure. Yeah, they don't exactly. I think it's important to distinguish... Hang on just a second. It's important to distinguish fact over feelings. Because children are impressionable. Sorry guys, let me concentrate on this real quick. I'll let you guys talk for a minute and I'm gonna do this real fast. So I apparently can't do both. Don't get me wrong, I love this topic. I really do. I don't think the transgender topic gets talked about enough. Or even opposed enough. You know. And like I said before, it's really important to listen to the people who have done it and have left, who've transitioned fully to female and then transitioned fully back to male, right? Well, fully is a I put quotes there. Transitioning back is a bit complicated, considering now you've done screwed up your body, and it's really, really, really almost impossible, I'm sure, to go back. And if you listen to those people, they have a lot to say on the subject, right? They have a lot to say on... Oh, come on! Oh, wait. No, we're good. We're good. They have a lot to say on the subject. And on the influence that they had to make that decision. For sure, yeah, but cleft lip isn't exactly something that can't be fixed. That's the kind of problem we're hearing here, is that if you're unhappy with your gender, you can't fix that. There's no amount of surgery is going to change that that Y into an X. That's the fundamental difference here, right? Is that you're just gonna have to deal with that, right? You're gonna have to deal with the fact that you were born a male, right? And no amount of mutilating, and no matter how much Furry Potato mutilates her body, it's still gonna mean she's still gonna be a boy. I would say that experts disagree with you, Brian King. Psychologists who don't necessarily approve of the thing will say that it's a mental disorder. And it is a mental disorder, because you're talking about, and I would say that a religious person is dealing with a mental disorder as well, right? Where they're looking at reality and they're saying, nope, I don't feel like it's that way, I feel like it's this way, so I'm just going to believe whatever I want, that's a mental disorder. It's like, if reality is saying one thing and you're saying another, then you're just simply wrong, that's what it comes down to. Excuse me. Excuse me. No. In all cases, male to female had more Y. Nah, that doesn't make any sense. Because the X and Y is just simply a determination of gender, right? There's no more Y or less Y. Maybe more testosterone and less estrogen, or whatever. More estrogen, less estrogen, other way around. Because there's I've certainly never heard that argument before, but I know enough about genetics to know that there's no more Y or more X. You're either an XY, which is male, or an XX, which is female. That's genetics. Yeah, I mean, I disagree, and genetics disagree with that Y and X thing, Brian King. It comes down to feels over reals, like we said before. Just because you feel like there's a God doesn't mean that there is one. Just like if you feel like there's a supposed to be a vagina where a penis is, doesn't mean that it's ever going to be that way. Yeah, but they're X and Y, not XX and XY, right? It's... If you've got a penis, you've got XY. If you have a vagina, you have XX, right? Like, a female doesn't have any Ys whatsoever. So, wouldn't that mean that a female could never become a male? Right? I mean, and if you have any Ys at all, you can't be a female. Does that make sense? The healthiest thing to do for a transgender friend is to explain to them that what they are saying is factually incorrect. That what they want to achieve is literally impossible. That's what a friend should do, right? There weren't enough friends in Free Potato's life to tell her that what she's saying is totally incorrect. Just like with Monkey. There aren't enough friends in Monkey's life to tell him that what he's doing is very unhealthy to his future, right? Going around cussing at cops is not a healthy thing to do if you're trying to be a productive member of society. yeah. Yeah, without changing the engine. I see what you're saying. There is an argument there. Can a Camaro still be a Camaro if it's got a Ford engine? Or whatever Camaro isn't? I don't even know what a Camaro is. Chevy, that's what it was. Chevy. But as a... Hang on. Excuse me. Fundamentally, it comes down to feels over reals. When... Oh man, I got a splinter in my finger. Or in my thing. I'm glad that we can all agree that it's no place for schools. That government should not be spending money on these sort of programs that promote or spread this idea of feels over reals. Ay, ay, ay. Hang on, guys. I gotta get rid of this splinter. What did I drop? Yikes! How can something so small be so painful? Woo! I mean, I honestly think that's a misconception, Brian. Nature doesn't make decisions. It can't make a mistake. There's no such thing as a mistake. Even a cleft lip wouldn't be considered a mistake because nobody made that decision. Like, it wasn't decided that this person be born with a cleft lip, right? That wasn't a thing. Nobody is to blame for that. There's no one you can point a finger at and say, I blame this because, you know, that's the reason why I have a cleft lip, is because that made a decision. It's just not, like, that's just a practice in personifying nature, I guess. I'm not really sure. Do, do, do. Ah, of course. Dun, dun. Dun, dun. I think another strange thing, though, that is also part of the argument, and since we're talking about furry, is this idea that furry is somehow a black person. Like, what? That just makes no sense. It's like, what, you just want to have all the extra societal points by being every minority you can possibly get away with? That just doesn't make any sense. It's going to take some convincing for people to think, to think that. And if that's the case, then why can't I just be black, right? I identify as a black person. I should be allowed to get black college funding, black benefits, that kind of thing. Whatever black people get, I deserve it because I identify as black, right? That makes sense, right? We're going on the scenario that feels are over reals, so I could just change my gender. Excuse me. Yeah. So I can just change my race whenever I feel like it. For his part black, well, I mean, I'm not convinced. I don't. I mean, that is arguable that that furry can do that sort of thing. And why? Why would that even matter? Why would it even matter that she identifies as black? I mean, what are you trying to get out of that? Are you trying to get some kind of extra special bonus points for being all the minorities you can possibly identify as? Like, I'm white, and I don't go around saying, oh, I'm a white guy, Unless it's part of a debate or something like that. And that's fine. I mean, and we're really just kind of bashing on furry. It's just a favorite pastime of mine. Really, it's not even about furry potato. It's about just the the nonsensical act of just saying, oh, I feel like I'm this, so therefore I am, Like Nacho said, I feel like a millionaire. Why am I not a millionaire? And I like to do that to furry because furry is, I don't know. Says he's a First Amendment auditor, but I don't know. Seems like just a terrible person to me. And go around treating people like that. Certainly doesn't make transgender people look very good. Like Bruce Jenner, that does not look like. It does not make trans people look very good at all. I mean, I've never met anyone more manly than Bruce Jenner. Yeah, but I mean, why does it matter if they're black? It really doesn't matter at all. I mean, this whole fixation on your race is what racism is. You know? It's like, so what? You're black. Nobody cares. Only racists care if you're black. You know, like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's about virtue signaling. When Free Potato says that she's a black female or whatever, is that even a relevant thing to say? You know? Like, what makes a black woman, you know, like, why is that special? That's like if I just went around everywhere I went just saying, hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm gay. You know? It's like, nobody cares. Literally no one cares. The only people that care are the people who are, you know, more concerned about race or identity politics than they are about anything else. Now, when you're talking about, like, filling out an application, I guess, then I guess it matters. Because that's for, what do you call those things? Surveys. Survey? Is that what you call it? Right, yeah. It's like, there's nothing special about being Native American either. Good Lord, let's get on about the Native Americans. Probably my least favorite religion or culture. It's like, oh my God, that happened so long ago. You lost. Get over it. Get over yourself. Like, be thankful that you have toilets and technology now, whereas before, you just lived in the dirt with, like, no medicine and no fucking, you know, it's just tribalism. There's nothing good about tribalism. And the Native American religion is just, it's just awful. It's either. But I mean, that's fine. I mean, I get that. That's understandable. My issue is, why does it even matter? Does it matter if you're a quarter white or you know, whatever black? You know, the only reason it would matter is if you're trying to garner some kind of extra points for being black or something, you know, or even white, you know. It's like, okay, we get it, you're black. Nobody cares. It's like, I have a friend, right, and for some reason in the last couple years, he has suddenly become very concerned about race, and all he ever posts are black people getting beat up by police, and I'm just like, yeah, well, tell them to stop being such terrible people and they won't get beat up so much. You know, there's a reason why people get beat up, and it's not for no reason. And the reason is either worth fighting for, or you can not be associated with that reason anymore. Right? Like gay people. We'll use gay people as an example. For a very long time, gay people were persecuted for being gay by the religious, right? By the government. You know, the government didn't care, at least, if they were being persecuted or killed, right? If you didn't want to be associated with that, if you didn't want to be killed for being gay, one of those options is pretending to be straight. Now, it may be lying to yourself and everyone else, but you won't get beat up for it, right? So if you're so concerned that there's this transphobic air, you know, right, that there's this some kind of transphobia going on, and you're concerned about how people treat trans people, you know, then why be trans? Why be openly trans? But if you're comfortable with it, and you don't mind the very serious risk of being discriminated against for being transgender, then that shouldn't be an issue either, right? Like, Yeah, yeah. If you're saying you've met a lot of black racist people, I agree. I've met far more openly openly racist black people than I've ever come across. Or I say openly because obviously, when you live in a place like Valley City, North Dakota, almost everyone there is racist, except they don't, they just don't say it out loud. And I honestly think that they're totally justified in their racism there, because all the blacks, most of the black people that live there are from Somalia, and let me tell you, we don't want that here. No way. Do not want Somalians living in this country. I don't. Black or white. Where they shit all over the fucking bathroom floors and crap like that. It's a culture shock. Whew. Yeah, but, hold on. For not being white? Well, she's just gonna have to deal with that. It's the kind of thing like... Hang on. Let me just try and be a little bit more sensitive here. I'm gonna hold off a second and work on this art, and I'll come back a little bit more sensitive. Hang on. Alright, so did Furry ever get the, did Furry ever think once that she was attacked because she's an asshole? Because, I mean, that would be like 99% of the reason why people get attacked. Well, excuse me, let me rephrase. God damn it. So you're fucking up bad. Fruit Potato is no saint, is what I'm trying to say, right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if most of the time she got attacked was because of her being a terrible person. That's the only reason why I target her, right? Is because she's a terrible person. When she's out there in public and fucking being real lewd and inappropriate to people, being extremely rude even, I don't care if she gets, a ricochet shot at her or whatever it was. Like, I don't have sympathy for assholes. I don't have sympathy for people like Furry Potato who think that just because they're some minority means that they are entitled to not being called out for it. Whew. Oh yeah? Hang on. Oh, it's so freaking warm in here. I mean, I come from English descent or European descent, right? And for me, it really doesn't even matter where I come from. That doesn't even matter to me. It shouldn't matter to anybody. That you're Irish, like, that shouldn't matter. Like, it's 2019. It's time to throw away all our silly, traditions, our silly beliefs, and join the 21st century with all its technology and everything it has to offer. Like Native Americans, it's time to stop living in the dirt. Okay? It's time to stop living like savages and start, start enjoying 21st century accommodations. Doesn't mean you have to. I'm just saying, come on. Really? Come on. Like, really? And, just to be clear for everyone who's watching, I don't have respect for religion or culture. I think both of them are outdated. I think that they should be... they should have eventually, at least by now, have been weeded out of this... Not weeded out, excuse me. Not by means of mass killing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, people should have just voluntarily left a long time ago. But that's, you know, it's people's freedom. Oh, shit. Man, it is so freaking warm. I gotta turn on the air, guys. Ugh. Whew. Jeez Louise. Even American culture, I want to make that clear too, is that even Americans have stupid cultures. Like the freaking Santa Claus, right? The fact that it is so widely accepted to lie to children is baffling to me. It's just like, oh, so, okay, I guess you don't love your children. Okay. I mean, that's your choice. You know, you wanna be, you know, you wanna be a liar to your children. That's on you, I guess. You know, because there's nothing going around that. There's no going around the fact that Santa Claus is a blatant lie to children, right? You know, and it always comes down to that, doesn't it? I couldn't give two shits about what adults do on their own time. I really couldn't. You know, to me, I love freedom. You know, you want to believe you're a man in a girl's body, or the other way around, or whatever. You want to destroy your body? Fine. You want to be an alcoholic? Drink yourself to death? Hey, you know, free country. Right? You want to be gay and destroy your anus by having copious amounts of anal sex? You know, that's your choice, right? But as soon as it involves children, right? Or even add one more, you want to believe that there's a God and that you know that's a real thing or whatever? Fine. I take issue when it comes to children. You know, children are very vulnerable. They can't just decide, oh, you know, or they can't. They don't have the tools necessary to determine whether or not the parents that they trust to tell them the truth is telling them the truth, right? They have to trust that. Don't go near that ledge, right? If children took a Darwinian approach to everything, nobody would become an adult because they would just die the first mistake they made. So it's up to the parents to make sure that those children are ready for the world, ready to take on things like personal attacks on the internet, right? Or personal attacks at home, or personal attacks on the street. let's get on with the art. Oh my goodness, it is so freaking warm. I'm just gonna go mute for a minute. I was gonna show you a little fly landed on me, a cute little green fly landed on my shoulder, but he flew away. It really does, I don't know, I enjoy these conversations, I really do. I'm just concerned that it's hurting my channel, you know what I'm saying? I either need to decide to do one or the other. Maybe I need to leave the discussion in Discord. A little green fly just chilling around, deciding to land on whatever it wants, like my camera. I am the fly whisperer. Oh, tell her I said hello, if she can't hear me. I tell you, man, when I saw that, it broke my heart. It really did. You know, and I had pretty strong feelings about you at the time, where I didn't like you very much. But when I saw that happened to your mother, I tell you one thing, man, that really hurt to see that. And I hope she's okay. You know, like I'm taking care of somebody who's on their way out too. And you know, and she grew up proper. You know what I mean? She grew up, you know, like a lady would. And now she can't control her farts, right? She can't control her flatulence. And that's painful. I try to, you know, of course I do my best to be as tact as possible. I don't like laugh when she farts or anything like that. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't want to get that old. I don't know. I think that old people should have a lot more than they do when they get that age, you know. The fact that we don't take care of our veterans, we don't take care of our old people, you know, it just makes me so sad. Yes, that's the rule. And yeah, and Nacho, you make a good point. I want this to be a channel where all discussions are open and free, you know. I really do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being weird. I don't like to be mean is what the issue is, right? Like, maybe to Furry, but I don't like to be mean for the sake of being mean, you know. Whatever. Let's just art, guys. Let's just art. It's funny, now that I say that, I really want to talk about the audit community. I actually really want to bring up the topic that we were talking about earlier, Brian King. I'm going to try not to. Gotta get some wire real quick. Oh! I see. I didn't see the comma there. You talking about me? I mean, I'm probably the furthest from closed-minded as you can get. Or as far away from closed-minded as you can get. Because closed-minded is just agreeing with whatever, you know. If you're a closed-minded person would just take transgenderism at its face value and not continue to think about it, right? Like, or religion or whatever, you know. Not just trans, not just gay either, you know. Oh yeah, I guess who is a good question. I'm going to take this opportunity to go to the restroom real quick. Oh, I forgot to mute it while I was gone. Might go live tonight. Pretty sweet. Did you get your, is it an iPad fixed? Would you agree with me, Brian King, that somebody who just takes things at face value, doesn't think about it, right? Like, doesn't form their own opinion about it, wouldn't that be considered closed-minded? Because I get that a lot, right? They're like, why don't you believe in God? You must be closed-minded. And I'm like, it's quite the opposite, actually. It's like, I'm open-minded. That's how I disagree with it, you know. Might go live tonight. Ay, ay, ay. Ugh. Wash my face. Right, yeah. And people can form their own opinions about their own religion too. Like, just because you're religious doesn't mean you're closed-minded. It's just, if you blindly believe your religion and don't look at other ones, that would be closed-minded. But if you are a Christian and you still study other religions, I don't think that's closed-minded.
Me, I study all religions. At least, you know, the exciting ones.
Oh? Oh wow, hey, look at that. No, it's welcome. It's welcome, Southern Belle. Thank you for derailing the current topic. I was trying to find a way out of it. No, that's actually very similar to what I've got here. Like that.
Ah! Some of these are bent.
These... This is actually one of my favorites. That is a solid piece right there.
Yeah, I guess it's that way.
Yeah, stuff like that. Let me go look at the picture one more time. Oh, that was you! Oh my gosh! That's so cool! Oh man! I'm so excited to hear that. Oh man. Yeah. It looks great. Let me take a look. And that's exactly what you need to do. You gotta practice, practice, practice. You used a hammer too? Oh, so cool. And it looks like you've got real earring hooks, which is always good. Still like the ear cuff? Let's see where that is. I think that's right here.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too.
Look at that. You think you're gonna make it a tiara next? I love it. I'm sorry, I'm still looking at the picture. I guess I only got one picture. Ah! Go back to Discord. Yeah, this one's a real easy one to make as well. Southern Belle. You just need, you know, a lot of wire. You know, uninterrupted wire, that's for sure. I think that was a good 3 feet. Oh, from Sterling? Yeah, see, that's a good wire to use. A bit larger and heavier. A bit. A bit. Just a little bit. And then, of course, I got my trees there. I'm hoping that my next tree is gonna look more natural, right? Like, this is great and all, I really like it, but it's not a natural look. It's more bonsai than tree. In fact, the same person who did the snake ear cuff did these as well. Make it oh, that's awesome. Okay, so then you've got at least some experience there. I'm telling you, that made my day. It really did. I'm so glad to see. I want to see more of that. Which is one of the reasons I really feel like I need to just, I don't know, cut the conversation out. Like, other controversial topics, I should say. As much as I really, really, really need an outlet for this sort of thing, it's just impossible to get along with everybody if there's so many controversial topics. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had 4 people watching for a while, and only 2 people have been talking. You know, or 3, including me, I should say. And it's really gotta. I guess I have to do some soul searching, if you whatever. So I have 2 channels. Yeah. I just need to leave it up to Discord. Is what I need to do. That's what I need to do. Because I can't do it on Facebook, right? Can't do it on YouTube. Oh, I can't do it on Google Plus. I'm just doomed to never having a comfortable place to make a second channel. I don't know. I actually tried that already. What I need to do is I need to take a page from all the very successful channels and just cut it out. You know, cut all that out. That's what I need to do. Just go on to other people's channels when I want to talk about something, I guess. Yeah, if I were to make a second channel, it would probably be dedicated to auditor accountability. But I just, even when I was doing it on this channel, I just didn't feel like doing all the really hard work of research and shit. Plus, the audit community is totally against the First Amendment, you know. Oh, yeah. For sure. Exactly my point, Southern Belle, right? Like, I want this to be a forum for discussion, but the whole... The discussion part is what's keeping people from coming in. It's like, exactly, rather watch the creative process, and that's what I need to listen to. I need to listen to the people who are interested in the art, and listen to them. This is probably going to be my best tiara yet. Yeah, the odd ick. You know what I need to do? I need to get on, for sure, see, Brian. I gotta find some middle ground, so I need to put it on Discord or something. Of course, that doesn't help you, Brian, does it? Really, what I need to do is use my art as a means to expressing my, I don't know, feelings. Just find the right platform for it, really.
And when it really comes down to it, nobody cares. Nobody important, at least.
Like, of course, you know, define important. My viewers are important to me. But there's, for sure, I definitely need to consider separating the art from the topics. Man, oh man. Shoulder. Well, that's not good. So warm. Yeah, certainly all we ever see, huh? I'll just go mute while I'm not talking in particular so that you guys aren't bombarded by the fan and air conditioner. Right, I see. Oh, the same music? Yeah. Yeah, when I look at other art channels, they tend to avoid the controversial topics. I don't know how they deal with trolls, though. Of course, I guess I don't watch the live streams. Maybe they don't have trolls because all they do is art. For sure, Brian King, I understand. I mean, that's it all comes down to choice, really, you know. And what am I trying to say? My respect for you doesn't necessarily diminish. You know what I'm saying, Brian King? Right? Like, I can recognize that you at least have common decency.
Right, yeah. You don't want to leave it unchecked.
Even though that might be the best thing to do. Right, like when Norid Odin, when he said all those things that I had apparently said or done or whatever, it was like a shock. I was like, I can't believe what I'm hearing. This guy's literally making shit up about me. Either that or he's too damn stupid to know he has to know what the hell he's talking about. Anybody who watches my channel knows that I'm probably one of the most peaceful people on the internet. Probably. And an argument could be made, Brian King, that you're not really an auditor. Just a supporter. I mean, if I'm not an auditor, you know, and I've done more than 100 audits, then how could you have only done 3 and still be considered an auditor? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the true Scotsman fallacy. You know, oh, well, he's not really an auditor. Well, he's not really a... Sorry, counting. Because if picking up a camera, going out and filming public buildings and police, if that's not auditing, then I guess auditing is simply just a bunch of angry people that want to screw around with cops, which is pretty much what it is. Carolina and Fort Worth? Yeah, I think, yeah, that was definitely not a very smart thing to do. Go on to a right. Well, then I'm an auditor too. James Freeman can't eat his cake and can't have his cake and eat it too. I've always been for police accountability, even before I didn't like them, or even when I didn't like them. Right, exactly, Nacho. Yeah, people tend to get arrested when they're assholes. And I don't think I have a problem with that. I don't mind seeing terrible people get, you know, what they deserve, essentially. Man, I would love to see Big Nick fucking knock down a peg. A few pegs. It'd be so lovely. It'd be like, if there really was justice in the world, people like Big Nick would just give up in frustration because their lives have been ruined from fucking around with police so much. Pro-police accountability, anti-hating cop. Or anti-cop hating. Cop bashing? Pro-police accountability, anti-cop bashing. That's what I am. Nah. Yeah, and I did all that. I don't know about filing grievances. I never had a grievance. And usually when a fellow auditor had done something wrong and gotten arrested, or excuse me, usually when an auditor gets arrested, they did something wrong. Whether that be socially or legally. Like, if I had a platform like like Fox News, if I had the opportunity to go on Fox News and talk about activism, or excuse me, talk about auditing, yeah, I would put them in the same category as cop killers. And James Barnes is an example of that. When he says that he wants nooses around cops' necks, right? That's not accountability. That's calling for that's a direct call for killing a police officer for no other reason other than that they're police. So, you know, that's a terrible person. And I sleep well at night knowing that I'm a much better person than, well, the audit community, really. Yeah, and I hope she does go to jail for 2 years for that. Hopefully it'll stop other people from doing the same thing. And quite frankly, I know I've mentioned this before. Anybody who makes the argument that you pay their salary like that somehow means something, anybody who's like that, says that, terrible person. No. Ugh. It's like, ew. What did I just step in? Oh, right. Auditor. Gross. Yeah. They're essentially saying you're a slave owner. That public servants are just that. That they're slaves. And it's so ironic coming from Big Nick. He's got like some kind of slavery complex, or slaver complex, where he thinks that he's somehow the whip cracker. Like, no. It's like, Big Nick, you're like the bottom of the barrel. It's too funny. Juanito, hello. I'll let up on Big Nick when he stops being an absolute shithole of a person. I mean, he's a terrible, terrible person. Furry Potato is a terrible person. Monkey83 is a terrible person. You know, I don't have sympathy for people like that. I actually root for the police when they said that. When they say that. And not very bright either. I mean, yeah. Not very bright at all. What idiot goes up to a police officer and just starts cussing at them? Like, oh, you can't do anything because it's not against the law to demean you and call you names and that kind of thing. Like, it may not be against the law, but I'm gonna look the other way when the police officer decides to beat the shit out of you. I'm gonna be like, did you learn your lesson? Did you decide that calling treating a person doesn't matter if they're a cop or not? If you think that's okay, you know, then we have no place for you here in America, where it's, you know, damn it, freedom. I guess you do have a place in here. We're just not going to like you very much. Let me read that again. And has changed. All right, I guess if I see that, maybe I'll change my opinion of him. I have a very bad habit of not reading the whole damn comment. Done far worse, yeah. I agree in the sense that if that's what the judge decides, then yeah, I'm okay. I'm on the side of justice, right? I want accountability for all and justice for all, right? The audit community doesn't care about justice, right? They don't care about justice because They want to just punish the police officer at the absolute most maximum punishment you can get for whatever, right? They don't want a fair punishment. They want the maximum punishment all the time. And then they want the minimum punishment when it comes to them. Now, that's not accountability, nor is it fair, you know? Yeah, I don't know about jail time. Certainly, it was a dumb thing to do. Yeah. Right, Brian King. I don't know about jail time, that's for sure. Now, if she's a terrible person, then by all means, I don't mind, you know. Like, if she acts up in the courtroom and starts spewing off this sovereign citizen nonsense, then yeah, she's gonna have the book thrown at her. You know, it's like, no... Well, I mean, you can understand my frustration, Brian King, right? Where I had joined the audit community for the very same reason as everyone else, right? I hated police, and I wanted to get back at them. That's the whole thing. That's what auditing is about. And let's not kid ourselves about this, right? Let's not kid ourselves about this. It has never been about accountability. If it was about accountability, then other auditors would hold other auditors accountable, right? I understand that you didn't particularly, Brian King, but we have to look at this as a group, right? If you're part of a group, then you have to be okay with the worst and the best of the group, right? When it comes to Christianity, people who are Christian are just going to have to be okay with the fact that their religion has a hell of a lot of pedophile priests in it, right? That every time you go to church, you have to acknowledge the fact that your religion kills people in the name of its God, right? Whether that be in America or not. Muslims are the same way. Gays are the same way, right? If I'm going to be part of the gay community, then I have to be I have to come to terms with the fact that gay people are so freaking annoying, you know, Right, Brian King, I agree, right? It's about justice. I don't think that jail time is a very appropriate punishment for logging onto a government computer. Now, if she had gone on there and was looking through files and copying things, that's totally different. But all she did was log onto a government computer, right? I don't even know how she did that. Was there a desk? It can be a gateway to going to jail, that's for sure. Going 10 to 15 miles an hour will get you pulled over, and then that stop will determine whether you go to jail or not. Because auditors don't like to, or nobody likes to admit it, but typically, if you went to jail, it was because of something you did. Yeah. Like if you got pulled over for a speeding ticket, a very simple speeding ticket, right? Or registration. Actually, registration will land you in jail. Or insurance. Having no insurance will land you in jail here in Texas. Right, yeah, I agree, Brian King. Jail is a punishment for people who literally need to be separated from the community. You know, the real community, not the audit one. Jail is a place for grown-ups to go into timeout. Bao was in jail that time. Bao was in jail because of what Bao did, right? Padilla was in jail because of what Padilla did. Yeah. In fact, I don't even know if there's one incident where an auditor went to jail where they didn't deserve it. Excuse me, I will correct myself in that, is that there are actually quite a few occasions where auditors didn't deserve to go to jail. But that's something that you have to expect when you're part of a group that actively kills police. And if you want to be separated from the sovereign citizen community, that's too bad. Auditing and sovereign citizens are in the same compilation videos, right? They're looked at as exactly the same in a courtroom. Is that yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's a felony. I hope it's not a felony. That'd be terrible. Yeah. We have to, though, we have to acknowledge, Brian King, that this is how the world sees it. There's almost nothing you can do about how people perceive things, right? The only thing you can do is what you do yourself, right? They don't make those compilation videos for their health, right? They make those compilations to expose those people to the world, right? Sovereign citizens are idiots, through and through. There's no getting around that, right? Because the shit they spout is so factually incorrect that it's almost a miracle that they can tie their own shoes, right? And I feel slightly the same way about the audit community, because the way reality is, and the way the audit world sees, the audit community sees the world, is two completely different things, right? Man. You know, I don't know what kind of person she is, but, you know, that's a pretty extreme, felony is a pretty extreme thing for logging onto a computer. I understand that, Brian King. You may not be a sovereign citizen, but the rest of the world sees you as one. They see you as cop killers. They see you as propagandists. G-Tag, how's it going? For sure, you shouldn't go to jail for calling a police officer names, but you can't expect not to, you know. How's it going, G-Tag? It's good to see you. Haven't seen a lot of your videos. Yeah, I am still subscribed. 6 days? Are the bells rung? Huh. It looks like you still upload things all the time. That's weird. Yeah, I'm afraid my phone isn't working. I gotta pay my phone bill. Just checking on you. For sure, I appreciate it, man. And if you want, I can let you know when my phone is back on, or I'll return the call, and we can go from there. That kind of thing. Let's look at what we're making. God Lord, that thing is enormous. Like, let's see how it compares to this one. Wow, that's a big difference. Yeah, I got to you. I'm about to get a check here in a minute. Maybe Monday. Tiara. That's because New York is a screwed up state, that's for sure. They got like sin tax on soda and cigarettes that are up the wazoo, you know. Both. I definitely don't agree with the audit, anything related to auditing. That I learned that it really has nothing to do with accountability. If it had anything to do with accountability, then there would be a lot more auditor accountability. Like Free Thought Project? Free Thought Project is an absolute propaganda machine. Like, the crap that they spew is so incredibly biased and it's like, you read the article, then you watch the video, and the article left out extremely crucial details as to what the police officer's decision was, why that person got shot, why that person got arrested, whatever. All they care about is race and whether the cop was a dick, you know. Yeah, and the public's perception. The public perceives the audit community as nothing different from the sovereign citizens. Not necessarily me. I try to judge people based on their individual traits. Like Big Nick. You know, like, I judge Big Nick to be an absolute shit stain of a person because of who he is as a person. You know, he just also happens to be part of a really crappy group. And I remember going on audits with G-Tag. I thought they were fun. No, I think you're a genuinely good person who's just kind of caught up in some weird ideology that there's no such thing as accountability for police or whatever. In fact, to be perfectly honest, G-Tag, I've actually really avoided going in your direction because, I don't know, I have that much respect for you. Sure, yeah, for sure. I do miss that. I thought it was great. I mean, I did learn eventually that it's always best to go on my own. For one, I was kind of coming in onto your audit as opposed to doing my own. And for two, we typically will deal with situations very differently. Law is law, yeah. And some laws are awful. I hope that's the case, Brian King. I really don't see any good coming out of the audit community ever. You know, when you got big auditors going in the defense of Padilla at Leon Valley, right? Padilla was arrested because of his own dumbass. He wasn't arrested because the police officer was unreasonable. He was arrested because he's also a shit stain, you know. And the fact that they were burning the blue line flag, no, that's not accountability. That's anti-police. That's cop bashing. That's a message of hate, not a message of peace, you know. For sure, G-Tag. It's just that we have to acknowledge the fact that the general public, are not going to see it that way. The general public are just as dumb as everyone else. Just as dumb as me, just as dumb as Brian King, you know, just as dumb as, you know, everybody in this chat room. right? But to make things worse, they're a really, really big group of dumb people. It's like, it's like the argument of evidence, right? I hear this all the time. Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence. And I'm just like, nobody cares about evidence. Literally no one cares about evidence. Oh, with the synagogue? Yeah, that would be a civil matter, yeah. For sure, I mean, that's how you feel about the blue line flag, but that's not how the rest of the world sees it. The rest of the world sees the blue line flag as a I support police flag, not a I'm anti-police, anti-civilian. Ow! Yeah. Yeah, stealing is a crime, that's for sure. Yeah, and where was that? South Carolina or somewhere, they made it illegal to gather seaweed or something like that. I saw a video on Facebook recently where I guess someone was arrested for collecting seaweed. So there are laws that are archaic. Archaic? I think archaic is... Oh my gosh, it's almost 9 o'clock. Oh man. I need to get back to work on this. There's a difference between the way the world sees things and the way individuals see things. The world sees the blue line flag as a symbol of unity, as a symbol of supporting police, supporting law enforcement, supporting justice even. It's only this absolutely tiny minority that think of it as something that divides people. I mean, tiny. It's like one of the smallest... What am I trying to say? Compilation channels? One of the smallest compilation channels that makes fun of or points out auditing as a bad thing, that kind of thing. For sure. Like, I don't necessarily support the blue line American flag, right? Like, I wear my blue nail like this ever since I started doing my blue middle finger and black other fingers. That's my supporting police, right? Like, I don't know if anyone knew that, but ever since I started liking the idea of police and holding auditors accountable, because really the only people holding auditors accountable are police. Let's just face it, like, auditors don't hold other auditors accountable. I know I tried. Became very unpopular. And yeah, an argument could be made that there are definitely plenty of laws that need changing or reconsidering of sorts. You seen the Disconnects channel? For sure, and that's one of the reasons why I respect you, or as opposed to when I didn't, right? Is that when I went and found to do a analysis video on one of your audits, I have to say I was surprised to see that you were actually very civil, and that the police officer didn't seem to do anything bad to you because you were civil, even though the officer was totally in the wrong. If he was even an officer. I think he might have... I think he was an officer. But New York definitely has a lot of problems to sort out, that's for sure. Same with California. Oh man, what about Carolina Kelly? Or excuse me, I love Carolina Kelly. What about Bell for Freedom? That's what I was thinking. My goodness. She should win an Emmy for her performance at that, wherever it was. Oh, that's cool. Hold on, let me make sure I got all these comments right. I'll tell you a channel I like is Think Like a Cop, I think it was. I think he's probably one of the least biased channels out there when it comes to police and accountability. Excuse me, police and auditors. You know, because when he sees a police officer being bad, he points it out. He actually points out when police are being bad when no other police officer will. Right, like that guy who got the dog sicked on him, whatever you call it. That dog, they busted out his window and they had sent the dog in. Right, like he had some pretty harsh words to say about that. And he also has. I love the way he handled. I love the way he handled the furry potato incident at the synagogue. It was like one long video of him just laughing about the situation. For sure, yeah. I saw that, and he just obliterated the audit community. He just made you guys, or made all the people that were on there look like absolute fools. I don't remember, what was it, I'm trying to remember the people who were on. I think Denise Lynn was on, S.A. Ecstasy Prez. Oh man, I'm trying to think of all the names. Either way, Mike the Cop, he just blew everything out of the water. I just thought it was hilarious. Oh, let me read the whole thing. Still trying to do follow-up. Yeah, I mean, I hope he does. You say that, Brian King, but was he not wrong when he said that, if I remember correctly, it was Black Label had said, you guys are trained to do X, right? Trained to do blank, right? And Mike the Cop was like, oh, well, hang on a second, are you a trained officer? Did you go through the training? Right? And I don't think he was wrong to point that out. That people who claim to know what police are trained to do have never been trained as police officers. I think he tried to interview Patrick, but he didn't come on. Yeah, Tom Zebra. Man, you know, I remember so blindly loving Tom Zebra, not realizing that it was not the right thing to do. It must have been all his charity stuff that made me so in love. Leo Fruza let Selina on. Yeah, that's not cool. Ricky Monday. I'm trying to remember who that one is. It'd be a boring place. I agree, G-Tag. I try not to be too terribly harsh. And it may not seem like it, but I do try not to be too harsh. Especially when I try to think about my experiences with you, G-Tag. Can't say I'm not bitter about Freeman, though. I think it's fairly insulting that, despite all I did for the audit community, that I was just kind of thrown away like a piece of trash. Which hurt. It did hurt. It hurt a lot because, you know, they were all my friends. The audit community were my friends. As soon as I started showing even the smallest amount of appreciation for police, oh my goodness, I became a leper overnight. Right, yeah. No, I agree. No, I also remember that. I remember that live stream. I mean, Mike the Cop seemed like the most reasonable person in that room. And he did look at things from a civilian perspective. I'm gonna have to watch it again now. Patrick bashing stream, yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, we're talking about Patrick then. Very soon I'm gonna have to go. In fact, it's 9 o'clock now. Man, I really don't want to cut this short. Oh! Oh, wow! Oh, wow! Hammered copper. I take it that was just the copper foil? It's really cool, guys. Southern Belle has got some really neat stuff on my Discord. My progress here. If you want anything you want to show off, there's actually a separate thing for that. It really doesn't matter. You can post it wherever you want. My Discord is so small right now. trying to discern whether that's copper foil or piping that was just turned into copper foil. Looks like it must have been copper foil. It looks fantastic. Copper sheet? Okay, yeah. Alright guys, I'm afraid I do have to go, unfortunately. I was gonna say I'll be on later, but I may not be. It's funny, on this side it looks alright, but on this side it doesn't. It looks out of whack there. That looks fine. Doesn't look fine. It's weird. .24 gauge. Whew! Oh wait. Bigger numbers means smaller, I think. Either way. I'm just gonna give people just another minute to say goodbye. To give their goodbyes. And I'm gonna have to think about that, guys. As much as I want this channel to be a platform for discussion and things of that nature, I'm gonna really have to consider leaving it at the door. How the hell did that happen? How did that happen? Okay. Whew. I mean, it looks like we're okay. Good lord, how did that happen? And quite possibly just maybe concentrate more on my Discord and maybe have the discussion there. Yeah. So I don't mind doing the discussion, you know. I guess maybe I just need to chill out. Perhaps I just need to chill. Maybe not worry about it too much. So at the end of the day, I'm not really looking to have more subscribers. Well, I guess maybe that's not true. I don't know. Split? I'm split. For the most part, G-Tag, I'm selling it at, do you know of a place called Retro? I'm selling my art there and online, but I don't have my Etsy set up yet. That's really what I need to concentrate on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get on my Etsy and fucking post things like this. The stuff that's too good for the store. Excuse me. No, oh, I see. You're saying G-Tag. Oh, I see. Okay. I think these were called Adventurine. Never heard of Retro? It's just 2 stores. One in Dallas and one in Plano. Let's take a look at this thing before we get off. I always struggle getting off the stream, guys. Whoa! That looks pretty freaking sweet! Alright. Let me hammer. You know what? I'm gonna hammer the ends. Okay. Alright. Before I go, wow, that's really strong. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, freaking cramped my hand. Or not cramp, whatever that was. I need to take some ibuprofen or something. really tough wire. Yeah, pay my damn bill. I understand. Just gotta have some money first. Oh man. Yeah, we don't have to get into that. Take it easy, man. Alright, cool. Since I don't have my phone, I can't rely on them to call me to let me know when they're ready, so I have to go check and see if she's ready. Okay. Mwah. Love you guys. I'll either post a video of the Tiara or come back live. I hate making predictions. Sorry. It's unlikely that I'll go live again. Alright. Take it easy, guys. I'm gonna have to get off now. I'm so bad.